All right. Today, Wednesday, April 15th, tax day. The most ridiculous thing that ever was created. And it's not, don't get me wrong, it has nothing to do with the paying of tax. It's just stupid because you already know how much I made. And so now I'm actually going to send back a form saying I did something different and here's everything else that I spent. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. I never understood it in my 59 years. Well, it's actually less than that, but let's call it, let's call it 40 plus. I never could figure it out. It seems like the dumbest fucking thing in the planet. Unless you have a business or something. But for an individual, it makes no fucking sense. Stupidest fucking thing I ever. And anyway, so an absolutely face-ripping rally yesterday. The only trades I took were the ones I did online. And it'd be nice if I showed my screen so everybody knew what the fuck I was talking about. The only trades that I did were the ones that I did on screen. I didn't do anything else because when the market does this and it just rips in one direction, I usually go off and do something else. As far as trading futures, I don't usually. Because to me, it's like, all right, I didn't catch that move, and so why? I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to get FOMO. I've learned over the years that the best thing in the world is to just walk away and come back. And so that's exactly what I did. I literally did nothing yesterday. I shouldn't say nothing. I did a bunch of options trades yesterday. Did many of the ones I talked about on the stream yesterday. But as far as futures, I only did the two. And so I don't have anything there. So, I go in here in my Top Step account and you can see, and look, I always like to be, it's important to be, it's so important to be transparent in today's day and age because there's so many there's so many charlatans. It's nauseating, folks. It is nauseating. Whoa, what's going on with this? Why is this not working? What the hell is going on with Top Step X? They having problems today? Look at this. It's like a fucking mess. What the fuck is going on with this? What the hell? So anyway, there's my one trade. Well, not my one trade. I did 10 trades, but that was all I did, and I called it a day. And if this was working, this is not really giving me a good vibe today. What is going on? Look at this. What the fuck is this? Anyway, looks like there's problems with Top Step X today. I don't know what's going on. There's never problems with TradingView, or at least there never appears to be. So anyway, it all comes down to like what do you want to do here? Because to me, when markets are here, you really only have one of two choices. We're at or near all-time record highs. Here's a daily chart. We're at and very near all-time record highs. Here they are. We are very close. I have alerts set. Do we continue to pump and get up there, right? And if and when we do, does it continue? I don't usually like to play those games. I'm actually a little disappointed now we're actually up in this area because I think what's going to happen now is the markets are going to get real shitty. And we got a lot of things kind of going against us here. Closing out April. We're kind of halfway through April. and we're getting into May, and the old saying, sell in May and go away. There's a lot of truth to that because once kind of Memorial Day hits and the markets do get into that summer kind of doldrum. And I don't want to hear, you're going to hear 1,000 influencers saying, well, there's still stuff going on every day. Well, there's still stuff going on every day because you have to have shit go on every day or you wouldn't be able to make a living. And it has nothing to do with trading. It has nothing to do with trading. You have to act like there's shit going on because you fucking sell services, you sell Discords, you sell subscription services, so you have to convince people that there's shit going on. And is there shit going on? Yeah. And I'm not going to deny the fact, but there is maybe going to be an hour to 2 hours a day where there's actually going to be shit going on from here on in, because I think it's going to get real fucking boring. That's just my opinion. But again, there's still a lot of headline risk out there that can move this market pretty good. So, you can't discount that. But look, if you're looking at equities, you just need to be aware that we are a bit back to normal. I mean, you got the VIX, who's not quite under 20 yet. I usually use 20 as kind of like the benchmark. Over 20, still volatile. Under 20, not so. And it really is a pretty good line in the sand for me anyway. So as far as looking at levels today, we're going to start off on the NASDAQ. And always good to look at the 1 hour. There's not a lot of profile up here at all. Again, we haven't spent much time up here, only back in November of last year, and then we haven't been back up here since. So a lot of stuff, plenty underneath here. But as far as to the upside, not so much. So I think you're going to want to mark R2 here, R2 26,127. R2 on the NASDAQ, 26,127. And I'm going to flip charts here on you real fast and go in here. And it's still on the hourly. And you can see all the way up, and even on my condensed volume profile, it is nothing, right? It is nothing but buyers, which makes sense, right? I mean, when you look at this move, we went from under 25K, 24,921, and now we are sitting up at almost 26. In fact, I think we even touched it. Yeah, we're over 26K. So literally over 1,000 points in the NASDAQ in just 2 days. And, likely this is for a lot of reasons. I would believe it's definitely people covering shorts. But this looks to me like, not only people covering short, this looks like a lot of organic buying, that it's just been money sitting on the sidelines waiting for a catalyst, right? We've been talking about that catalyst, and I guess everyone got it. And here we are. Now, do we stay there? I don't know. But I do have R2, 26,127.25, not very far away. We are basically flat today. I don't know. I didn't even look at Econ today, so I'm not even going to look at that yet. But there you have it. That's kind of one spot that I particularly like. And it wouldn't be my broadcast unless I had my pen tool. I got to have a pen tool. Right? So 24 24, 26, 127, 25. There. Also, R3, 26, 296. And that is pretty much it to the upside. Because once we start getting up here, you know, that's where we're at like all-time highs. And like, I'm not going to go and look at, you know, and I'm not going to start doing fib shit up there. And, you know, that's, you know, then you're just starting to do fucking voodoo and stuff, you know, and then, you know, might as well put the witch doctor mask on and be like, you know, oh, the Fibonacci and the, you know, the 1.65. It's like, whatever, dude, shut up. You know, I'm not even going to look up there. You know, we'll deal with that. If we get up there and we have to deal with that, we'll deal with that at that time. That's great. You know, I hope we have to talk about that, to be honest, because that'll mean all my investment accounts are fucking kicking ass. So, and I won't give a flip about futures at that point, right? Right? Because this is not how we make a living, folks. I mean, I don't want to tell you that. I mean, and there's only a few guys out there that do streams and that trade futures and do streams that tell you that they make most of their money. They don't make most of their money doing this shit. They make most of their money doing options, trade stocks. That's where the real money's made, folks. This stuff, this is almost like therapy. You know, engagement, therapy, engagement, and kind of like, you know, I call it like cash flow is really all this is. So anyway, that's what we have to the upside. To the downside, I'm actually going to go and put on the tool and see what's marked out on the downside. I don't see anything. I don't see anything but R3, and we are sitting right around, you know, a resistance point here as well. And I don't particularly like it because I'm not just going to go, again, when something hovers around like this, you basically have a 50, not that you don't have a 50-50 shot on everything, but with this, and it's hovering around here, it's obviously waiting for something, and I'm sure there's something today that it's waiting on. But that is definitely an area I think you want to mark up here, for sure. For sure. Right, we have a pivot point. We have a point of resistance, which is a swing high from earlier. I can actually look back and see when it is, but when it is really is important. The fact that it's there and it's a swing high from earlier on, and it's actually marked all the way out here, which means we haven't hit it yet. So that, to me, is going to be an area that I think you're going to want to mark. So, you know, from R3 all the way up to 26,348. And that is pretty much it on the NASDAQ. There's not, to me, it's take your pick here all the way down, whether it's the pivot, whether it's S1, S2, S3. I think you're pretty much in buy the dip mode here from here. I mean, again, I'm just like calling it as I see it. You're in buy the dip mode all the way down here. So this is buy the dip down here. You hit these, you know, it's probably a good probability trade to hit that buy button and buy the dip. I mean, that's kind of the market that we're in. Now, am I going to do that? No. You know, if we come down here with some severe velocity, I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to fight that. But, you know, we drift down here today, I'm going to take those. All right, and that's pretty much it on the NASDAQ. And then if I think, so what's going to happen here too, it's always good to look at the 1 hour to see if you see any strong, like this, again, being on the 1 hour, this is a strong point of resistance. This is a strong point of resistance. We have none. Let me get rid of this. We have no strong points of support down here at all because this rally was kind of intense. But that's not going to hold up because as I start to drill in, here's a 30-minute, and we're going to see if anything gets painted. We have one right down at S2. Look, amazing, right? Amazing how these pivots work. It really is. It really, really is to me. Amazing how these pivots work. So there is going to be one down at S2. So 25,580. 25,580. I mean, that's a big move, though. But, again, it's there. 25,580. I'm not marking it. It seems way down there. You know, again, another one here as we go to the 15-minute and then the 5-minute. That one's going to be the tell-all. Is there anything really down there? There are a few showing up. And it definitely looks like 25,933. So we're going to be looking at 25,933s today for a trade. And then also probably the one that looks the best is the 25,883s. Now, what I should do is don't mark the bottom of this range, mark the top. Because it's important that if it goes through there at the top, it's because what you're looking for is you're not looking for it to just exactly touch this and go the other way. Chances are you're looking for this to come down in this area and then look for a reversal. So, you know, it's always good to me. It's always good to mark it above that line. So I'm actually going to move mine up above to the top of the line. Because you want to be in, this is where you want to be, because you don't want to put it here, then it hits here, and then it even breaches through and turns around, goes the other way. You're too late. You need to be engaged before that. So these highlighted top areas are good because they kind of give you a point of engagement earlier on. So anyway, that is where I'm going to be looking today, 25,941. Again, pretty big move down. I mean, we're going to need to slip down there. We are trading up near 26K. And then again at 25,892s. 25,892s. Now, to the upside, another short-term stuff, we have 2631s. That one's pretty interesting because we have a reversal. And then we have this, I don't know what the hell happened here with this fucking candle. This looks like an anomaly. But anyway, you got that candle, but as well, almost 3. So we're going to be looking at that area as well because we got 1, 2. We got 1, 2. And I'm not even going to, I don't know. I'm not really going to even mark that because usually when it's one like big wick like that, but you know, you get the point. So we have that there. And we're going to mark those 2631s. 2631s. And then 2650s. 2650s. All right, so that's kind of the spots that I'm going to be looking at here as we get into the trading day on the NASDAQ. All right, now let's move over. Let's move on over to gold. And, you know, look, I'm not going to call myself a new gold trader, but I am new recently. I have not traded, I've not, let it known here, I have not traded gold in a long time. And I started trading gold probably about 2.5 months ago. On and off, here and there, doing micros, not doing the big contract. And I will tell you, man, gold will give you, I think I have high blood pressure now because of fucking gold. Gold trades, it's so fucking messed up. It is not for the faint-hearted, I'll tell you that. Gold has a mind of its own, and it is a beast. Definitely an R2 48.92.80s. Hit those again this morning, or was it last night? Yeah, it was last night, and rejected hard, and it's been kind of down since then, and we have not been able to get through there, right? So we're going to keep an eye on that. All right, we got this spot over here. Well, no, not that spot. We have this spot over here. Come on. There you go. It's a little bit big of an area, right? You got this spot here. You have this spot here. Right? So we got two kind of areas up there that we have not been able to break out, at least on the short term. This is the hourly. And then last night we did get to R2. And you see I got an alert up there. I'm going to actually move it down. You got an R2 at 48.92. 48.92. And so we're going to actually be keeping an eye on that. I don't believe we cracked. Let me look at this candle. I don't think we cracked 4,900. I was looking for it yesterday or last night. No, we didn't quite crack 4,900. We got near 49. I think we got like 48.90 something. Let's see. It's got to be like 94 or some business. Anyway, whatever it is. We'll look at it a little deeper on the... but so that is an area you're going to want to look at there right on the pivots right away. Now, as far as buy side, right, there's a lot of buyers. There seem to have been a lot of buyers down here last night. But I couldn't really get any mojo. You can see pretty much all overnight it's been kind of down. Now, that's not to say that's going to continue, but it has been in a downtrend overnight, all night. What the heck just happened? Copper. Keyboard's got a mind of its own. So if I'm actually looking at some spots here, I'm kind of looking at S2 here a little bit, right? Some support here. Going back, not really seeing, but I kind of like that area. Possibly S1, 47.90s. We'll see what happens on the when we put the support and resistance thing on. And then S3. S3 looks really, really good. I mean, I am definitely going to mark that one. S2, maybe not so much. We're going to have to look. But I like S3. Now, that's a big move, right? I'm not going to deny that. That is a pretty big move. And that would pretty much wipe out almost everything yesterday or the last 2 days. So, but anyway, I'm marking it anyway because that's just what we do. So as far as the other levels, I don't really see anything in here that I would be interested in other than things to the upside. And I don't really I'm not a fan of shorting gold either, though. But, hey, you try and stay mechanical and take the trades when they present themselves. But R1, R2, definitely going to be areas of interest. Let's kind of, let's go put the support and resistance tool on and see what we have here. It's coming up where we're R1 and R3. So I'm pretty happy with that R3 did kind of show up on the 1 hour. But also S1 is showing up on the 1 hour. So I'm going to have to say that, you're going to, at least for today, maybe look at that spot for a possible trade. Big band of sellers in here, but there were buyers underneath there. There were a big band of buyers underneath there, but conversely, there is some sellers below there. as well. So, gonna mark that. I would definitely mark S1. It's almost right on the tick. So S1, 47.90s. So take a look at 47.90s. That's on the 30-minute. We're just going to go right to the 5-minute and see what else shows up. And it's pretty much, it's going to be a little bit shorter term. I don't know if I'd be a fan of either of these. I'm going to mark this one, which is 48.17s. And the reason I'm not really a fan of that is that it didn't hold, right? It didn't hold last night. I actually traded this, and I traded this last night, and I think I didn't make any money because I have a loser and a winner, and I was done. And it slipped through, and it actually made this. So I don't know. I don't like when this usually happens, when you see two of these support areas like underneath each other. And so I'm not really a fan of that one. I do prefer this look. So anyway, I don't want to confuse anybody. Not that anybody's probably not confused already. But that is just how I kind of, I prefer this as opposed to the 5-minute, which is a little bit shorter term and actually a closer value. Hold on. Right? I mean, there's kind of a snapshot of today's price action that you would most likely trade unless we break out of the range. All right. And so I marked it anyway, but we'll see. I'll be engaged there. We'll see what happens. We'll look for a reversal, and possibly we get a trade out of it. Again, to the upside, you're probably going to want to mark these 42s. We didn't do a very good job last night. Last night we plowed right through those, and made these up here, which is those 50s. So I prefer the 50s as opposed to the 40s. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the 51. All right, and then there you go. That's kind of it. So we got a couple of spots on the downside in gold, and we got a couple of spots on the upside. And we'll see what happens. Right now we're down about $15 in gold. I'm expecting a pretty choppy market, but then, again, I thought so the other day, and we ripped. But again, that was all headline driven. So there you have the NASDAQ. There you have the gold. I think pretty solid analysis. Not to pat myself on the back. I mean, 'cause it's really not me doing the analysis, folks. Let's face it. If you have these indicators, right, it's pretty much the same thing for me. Wash, rinse, spin, repeat. Pivots. I'm loving this Lux Algo SNR Pro toolkit with the settings. And again, it's all stuff that you've seen me mark before myself. I mean, here it happens to be a line here. I've marked all this stuff up on my own. It's just nice now that I have something that I just click a button and it does it for me. And to me, I'm lazy. I'm lazy. Now, as far as the Russell has gotten real slow. And honestly, I think it's a more of a me thing with the Russell right now than it is with the Russell as a market. I think I've been trading gold so much, and gold moving the way it does, it is a complete 180 to the way the Russell trades. It's an absolute 180. So I think it's more of a me thing with the Russell than it is with the market. So I just want to make that clear that this is not the Russell's not trading any different than it normally does. It's just I've been trading gold. And so when I now go back to the Russell, I'm like, And it's just, that's the way the Russell is, right? That's why I've always traded it, because it is kind of like a ho-hummer. Faster than the ES, slower than the NASDAQ. I would say price action and movement, I would give it like more like the NASDAQ. And far as like the ES, it trends very well like the ES. It's kind of a good mix between the two, in my opinion. So anyway, Russell, same kind of issues as the NASDAQ, where, look, we're at or near all-time highs. I mean, here they are. And if there's a market that has really been stronger through all of this, it's been the Russell. It's been much more resilient than all the other markets. And there's a reason. Most of these companies are domestic. Most of these companies are probably more influenced by interest rates directly than some of your, the fuck was that? Some larger companies, and it's a more diversified, right? I'm not going to say it's equally weighted, but it's better weighted than the other two. Where basically the ES is about 15 to 20 stocks that drive the whole damn thing. The NASDAQ is literally 10. I won't even say probably 6 to 7 stocks, but I'll just say 10 just to make it sound. Where the Russell, it's probably more like 50 to 60 stocks kind of move that whole index. So again, it's just a little broader of an index, and I think it tends to give it a little bit more resilience. But here we are, closing in on all-time record highs, 2790. I don't even know what it is. It's funny. Somebody actually said to me, I don't think it was yesterday, I think it was Monday, just in conversation, they were like, oh yeah, what is the ES? I was like, you know what? I don't even fucking know. They're like, what's the price of the ES, or what's the price of the NASDAQ? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I look at it every day, and I really couldn't tell you, because I don't even look at price, right? I look at like whether or not there's support or resistance somewhere, and like I don't even register in my head like, oh, it's at what price? So I was like, gee, I don't know. I know it's around something, right? And they're like, oh yeah, you're right, it's whatever. But I didn't know. Like I watch it every day, and like I don't even give a fuck where it closes at the end of the day. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I can't trade the close, because once it's closed, it's over, and like I have no interest. It was weird, and they were like, because they made a point in saying like, dude, you do this every day, and you trade, and you don't even know like what the close was, and I'm like, no, I couldn't tell you what anything closed at, to be honest. Because the minute the market closes, I turn my brain off. Because I can't trade it. So I don't care. And to me, it's just a number. It's just a fucking number on a chart. It has no meaning to me. So it's weird. And I'm sure other traders and people who trade, not just traders, but even, people who invest and that kind of thing can probably say the same thing. Because you kind of know what you know, and you're just not like paying attention. Because to me, these are minute details that like mean nothing. I mean, I could tell you how many times I shorted the market. I could tell you how many times I went long. I mean, and that's about it. I couldn't tell you what the price was that I did it at. Anyway, we're at all-time record highs here on the Russell. Same thing as every other. We're going to go one of two ways here, and it's going to be a rough go. I think trading equities is going to suck. Be honest, and I do, and I think I'm actually going to, even now that I'm like going over another equity market, I think you're going to want to start looking at some other shit that might start moving around, so to get yourself some price action. You know, and I don't know where you land. There's not too many places to go. But if I'm looking for spots, I'm going to be in at R2 2735s. I like. Again, they're up here in this top section of La La Land, where it's all-time highs, and then obviously R3, which is right above those. And hey, good luck with these. Like I'm marking them, but you know, I'm never one to like. I've learned my lesson a long time ago. Is if a market wants to go up and it wants to make new highs, chances are it's going to make new highs. And don't think you're picking the top, because you're just going to get steamrolled. But I'm marking them anyway because that's what I do. As far as to the downside, I mean, again, I like to buy the dip. So any of these spots, and let's see, that's the daily. Let me go to the hourly just so that they're a little more visible. Sorry about that. You know, any of these spots are going to do R2, R3. We did have a rejection of R1 overnight. You might want to mark that as well. Any of these areas on the Russell, to me, the Russell, in my opinion, is actually a very good index when it comes to, I'm not going to say abiding, but rejecting off these support levels and bouncing on, or rejecting the resistance levels and bouncing on the support levels. So anyway, and then as well to the downside, right by the dip, any of these. So if you have this indicator, I highly recommend you get it. If you're trading the Russell, any of these are going to be any good today. Now let's just take a look at which ones will be good from a... R1 coming up as a pretty heavy resistance point. So we do have that. So that could possibly be a short today. Again, we're going to have to see how that rolls and see how we get into that. But I do like that. The more I look at that, again, markets are off a little bit today. We had a big day and a half, almost 2 days. We're kind of maybe due for a little consolidation, maybe even a little drawback, pullback. A lot of sellers up here. Whether or not they get absorbed, you know, we'll have to see. So definitely this is a good area that you're going to want to keep an eye on. I'm going to wait on this area until the open. I'm not going to try and front run it here an hour before the open. If we get in here and we go up in this area before the open, I'm going to just step aside. But if not, and we do get up in this area after the open, I will definitely consider a short trade in there. I do like it. I do like it. Again, as far as the downside, there's nothing there. And then let's go to the 30-minute. Nothing there. Again, R1 showing up again, even above there. So again, this area is going to be really important today for the Russell, right? So definitely mark these up. Mock them up. Get a pen tool. Or just get this indicator, because this thing's awesome. It really is. It's good. I mean, if you're a support and resistance trader, if you're a fucking, you know, if you're a fucking ICT jackass, then fucking do ICT. I don't get it. I've listened to I don't know how many videos. I put shit on charts. Because look, folks, I try shit. I try different shit. I see something online. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, all right, let me see. I don't fucking get it. To me, it's just so fucking overcomplicated, you know, with the terminology and fair value gap. And, you know, this is a drawn liquidity. Well, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, drawn what liquidity? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Draw to what? Like, you know what I mean? It's either fucking support or resistance. That's it. That's it. Anyway, S1 coming up big time here. 2693s. I already have an alert set there. Definitely set that one today. That is a good one. That's a real strong one from back back on Tuesday, as part of that rally, there was some really good support in there, and I see and that one comes all the way out. So yeah, that's a good one. So you're going to want to be engaged 2693s, and then right below that 2692s. 2692s. And I'll say it again so that I sound like Rain Man. 2692s, 4 o'clock. Wapner. Wapner's 4 o'clock. So anyway, there's that. And then 5 minute, the golden child. Lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. And this just represents, to me, chop. The fact that there's so much in here. Don't really like any of this stuff in here. Again, this is all, when you see this kind of stuff, this is all price action. So, if we get up here, you do see a reversal, yeah, take it. Same thing with down here. I kind of like this spot. This isn't too bad, 2710s. I'm going to mark it anyway. I kind of like that spot. Actually, it's going to be more, I'm going to move it. It's going to be more the 2711s. 2711s. I kind of like that spot. I don't like this area. Again, there's too much in here and it's too busy. I do like this area up here. I like the 21s. If we get up in here in the 21s, I kind of like this spot. We do have, I think there's another marking that we made on a longer term, because right there's the alert. So definitely I'm going to want to be engaged in that one. I kind of like that area as well. That's up at the 2720s. These are iffy. I'm not going to take them off the table because we did reject here off these levels. We didn't really reject very stiffly or hard, right? It was pretty weak, and we recovered from it and we chopped. Up here, we actually had some pretty nice rejections up in this area, right? So that's the other thing I'm looking at. The rejections up here were much, much harder than here, right? We rejected here decently, but then we chopped, and we chopped. Where here, it was a pretty distinct rejection. And then we got retrace and then another rejection. So, again, this area up here is going to be, that to me could be the trade of the day. All right. And that's it. That's all I got. I'm not going to look at crude. I'll put crude oil up just for the sake of putting it up. I mean, I don't know. Trading crude oil is going to be rough. As I mentioned, not to say that it's completely off the table, but it's going to be rough because look, it is all about, is the Strait open? Is it closed? Is it this? Is it that? Is it some jerk off on social media says, there's some fucking, island who sent out fucking 6 guys in a fucking canoe with a fucking cannon on it. And they're going to challenge the U.S. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You have nobody has any fucking idea what is going on over there. Nobody. I am convinced there's probably 5 people that know what the fuck is going on over there, and none of them are you. So shut the fuck up. Because if I see one more fucking thing about somebody who's like, the last thing I saw, China's challenging. Shut up, dude. Shut up. China's fucking grasping at straws. They're running out of fucking energy. They need oil. We know it. They know it. And if there's boats going in and out of there for China, they made an agreement that with the U.S. to say, all right, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Go get a couple boats. Go ahead. We're not fucking pricks. You don't want people fucking starving. We're not like that. We're not like the rest of the world. We're not fucking pricks. So shut up. Shut up. You have no idea what's going on. And look, I don't agree with any of it. I never agreed with the war in the first place, but I'm not going to claim like I know what the fuck's going on. I'm going to watch price. I'm going to watch crude oil. And if crude oil is going down, which it is, it's at $91. And if it continues to fall, I'm going to assume that everything's going over there is going just fine. As long as crude oil is not $200 a barrel, I'm going to assume that everything over there is fine. And that is going to be my judgment, regardless of the fucking headlines on TV, regardless of what some jerk off over on Instagram said because he's got 5,000 followers. I don't care. And so that's kind of how I'm like treating crude oil. To me right now is really just an indicator. And that's how I'm treating it. You can trade it if you want. By all means, go ahead. I know plenty of people who have been trading it and making a ton of money. But it is not for me. And so we got, let me go look at Econ. It's almost 8:30. And I do want to see if we do. No, there's nothing. There's nothing. NBA mortgage. Now, it's all, what the heck? What is this? April. What? The dates aren't even right. Caracas. What the fuck is that? Why am I in the wrong week? There we go. I'm in the wrong week. I mean, it still doesn't matter. Wednesday the 15th or it's still all the same. Export prices, blah, 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 blah. There's a bunch of Fed speakers, I think. Yeah, it looks like. And then 10 o'clock, there's housing. We do have those inventories, those crude oil inventories. We got an auction, and that's it. I don't really see much of anything else. Import prices look like they ticked up a little bit. Export prices actually went up. Which kind of makes sense because we export oil, and oils went up. So wow. That's it on that note. I saw that Morgan Stanley, I guess, had earnings, right? The banks are going to start doing earnings now. But we'll get into that tomorrow. But I do think JP Morgan. Let's take a look at JP Morgan. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. We don't need any of that stuff on E. JP Morgan. Right? Did they actually have earnings? I think they had earnings today. JP Morgan, yeah, they had earnings, and I seen they were seen. Did I see them or I saw them? I don't know what I did with them. I know I definitely didn't pay attention in English class to know the fucking difference. JP Morgan Chase net income, blah 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 blah. Maybe beep, blah blah blah, bada beep, bada beep, bada boop, bada bop. There it is. Bada beep, bada beep, bada boop, bada beep. Let's see. Yeah, so it was good. Oh, wow. Shocker. It was good, and I see the stocks up a little bit. Just actually gapping up a little bit. Many of these financial stocks really have not... they really haven't done too great. They haven't done bad, but they haven't done that great. And it does look like it was a little bit of a beat from the last earnings cycle. And that is that. So you're going to have that's now going to start coming into play. So we'll start talking a little bit about some of those perhaps too tomorrow. With the with earnings, we'll start looking at some earnings trades too. I haven't particularly liked many of them in the last cycle because you had all this shit going on, and there wasn't really much there as far as the earnings cycles. As far as trades, it was really kind of crap. NBIS looks like that's kind of given some back today. Thank God. That's kind of that's not ripping my head off, but it's about to. I kind of feel like it's due to rip my face off, but we're going to continue to manage that. I mean, all these stocks have really just like exploded out of the doldrums. Yeah, and so that's it. That's all I got. So we're going to be watching crude oil. I'm going to probably be hawking the place where I'm going to stick today if I'm going to trade is probably going to be the Russell. That is probably what I'm going to trade today. I already kind of have that marked out. I don't know. I mean, I don't like trading gold during the day. I don't know why. I like trading gold at night. But I'm probably going to stick to the Russell today. All right, so I have a good one. That's all I got. And then as far as my accounts are, I haven't really done much. I haven't done much in this one. This is my Lucid account. I really need to start. You can see I have the Russell in here. I'm going to start trading the Russell in here in this one. I only done a few trades in this. This is a direct account. This is that Lucid. I want to say it ran me $350 for a direct account. And basically how it works is that you go direct to funding, but you can't just take payouts right away. So you go direct to a funded account. It is an actual funded account. So as opposed to it, you going into like an eval, and then, an eval then becomes a funded account, and then you actually start from zero and then have to work back up again. This is a funded account. You have to do $3,000 in this particular account. This is a $50K. You have to do $3,000 in profit, and then you can start taking payouts right away. So there is like no flip from an eval to a payout account, and then you can, as soon as you hit that 3K, you can start ripping money. It's basically money in your account. You can start taking money out. Which much better path for folks, I think if you don't want to go through that whole, evaluation thing, because I don't want to go through that no more. I'm pretty much done with it, with doing that evaluation, because it's kind of sucky, because you kind of go through, because this shit's hard, and you go through that whole thing of just getting an account. And then and you're profitable, and then and you do it the right way, right? I'm not doing these the asshole way, the way 90% of the influencers do it, where they're like opening 15 fucking accounts and then they fucking day trade one to the hilt, and they pass it in one fucking day, but they blow 15 other accounts, and then, you know what I mean? Because I'm doing it the right way. And you think, because it takes me about a month to month and a half to do one of these, because I kind of methodically go through and like every day, and I treat it like real money. And so, to me, this is a much better path than doing the evaluations, where I wish Top Step would do that, but hey, maybe they don't need to, so they don't bother. But Lucid, I kind of like it. I also like the platform better. Platform's much, much nicer using this Lucy, whatever the fuck it is, Tradesa. So anyway, that is what's going on there. So nothing really to show you in here, because I don't really have much going on. Look, this one I think I have $103. I did like 3 or 4 trades in here. And I really haven't traded it because I've been kind of concentrating on my other account. But now I'm going to start trading this one. So mostly this week, I'm going to try to start trading this one a little more. And because I want to get a payout. And so that's it. That's all I got. Have a good one. And I will be back tomorrow. Now, I know a couple people message me and ask me and say, hey, can you do more live trading? And I would love to. I really would. I mean, and I want to, because I would love to just stick my screen up here and screen share. I have another job, folks. And that's like, until I don't have another job, I have another job, and that job's important to me. And And so I can't, and so that's what I'm doing. And I wish I could, but I try to do it on my days off and whatnot, but that's kind of what it is. So I can't. So I apologize, but this is all I got until I retire. So have a good one, and